today is all about volunteering. I'll be speaking of corporate volunteering. And to be specific, we'll be talking of business outcomes and social impact with corporate volunteering. I'll quickly introduce us. So me, Megha and Hrdik, we're from ICVA, Indian Corporate Volunteering Association. So it's a leadership network of companies coming together to promote and grow corporate volunteering in India. ICVA provides support and platform for these corporate organizations to, to transform corporate volunteering and drive strategic initiatives to achieve their business goals and business outcomes. When I speak of corporate volunteering and business outcomes, what outcomes do I mean? So the outcomes that we are speaking of are talent attraction, talent development, talent retention, building culture, and even CSR. So based on research that we've done, we've found that 92% of the volunteers report that they feel that their skills have improved, mainly leadership skills. And if we talk of talent retention, employees who volunteer have 39% of lower attrition rates. Even in terms of building culture, 93% of employees are more satisfied with their workplaces when they volunteer. And not just the research, even what we're looking in industry, a lot of companies are actually using volunteering to drive their business goals. We have a few examples here. Talent development, talent promotion, various aspects where these business goals can be achieved through employee volunteering. I'll quickly walk you through a few examples. So first one is Deloitte. So Deloitte wanted to incorporate experiential learning in their learning and development programs. So they started this initiative called Step Up, in which their employees would go to pro bono consulting, volunteering with the NGOs, and this was across, projects were across areas, strategy, HR, data analytics. This was across 6 months, 2 to 5 hours of volunteering per week. And they actually measured the impact. And what was found that 90% of the volunteers learned new skills. And they even laid out these 6 leadership traits that were developed with the program, which was curiosity, courage, collaboration, commitment. So this was really reported the impact of this program. And next, if we look at Google, now in case of Google, Google really wanted to engage their employees, since most of the employees of Google are actually millennial and Gen Z, new employees are coming in, and they wanted to connect them to a larger mission of the organization. So the program that Google started was again a structured volunteering program, pro bono consulting cases across engineering, product management, and they wanted these employees to work on real life challenges. So they were working with vulnerable communities or domestic workers. And when with this program, what happened was they were able to instill this real life challenges or problem solving skills in their employees. And even the employees reported that they didn't just feel like they're engineers doing their work. They felt like they're solving some bigger problems, and they were able to connect to the larger mission of Google. Next, if we look at Prudential, now Prudential has this program where they were trying to fill those skill gaps in their talent. And with their similar kind of consulting program with the NGOs, they were able to find out that 15% of their volunteers were actually promoted. They really developed those skills which were earlier existing. And 99% of the volunteers stayed in that organization for more than 3 years. So this is a very good case of talent development as well as talent retention. Next, if we look at Disney, now Disney is a very interesting case. Now Disney is obviously the main customer and consumer brand. So now Disney, they had a program where they would donate 5 tickets to the NGOs per year. So this was more like they were just donating these tickets. Earlier, they transformed this program and thought, why not make it more incentivize this program? So they would invite these NGOs and schools to Disney parks to organize activities where they would engage their employees. So it turned from just a transactional program of giving or donating tickets to a more organized activity where it is incentivized for the NGOs. And they went a step further. They involved families because the major, if we say customer base of Disney and Disney parks is the families. Families visit Disney parks. So they introduced this family rewards program where families would come, they would identify volunteer family of the year, and then they would reward them with a ticket to Disney park and a grant of 10,000 which they can donate. With this program itself, Disney created a leadership position and in family volunteering. They did it at a very large scale. 9,27,000 volunteers and 1,68,000 families were involved. Next, we have Tata. We are all aware of Tata and the culture that goes around. So Tata also has a very structured program where they promote this unified corporate culture. It ranges from single-day activities to disaster response programs that run for a week, and even the Pro Engage program that is a long-term skill-based volunteering program. So Tata is able, with a range of these programs involving all the employees at a larger scale, connecting them with the purpose of the organization, they are able to really instill that feeling and sense of purpose, the mission of Tata within their employees. Next, if we look at ICICI Lombard, now all that we have talked till now is about employees, talent. And if we talk of CSR here, if you see ICICI Lombard has, so they had this CSR project, Caring Hands, which was initially, they were doing it externally with third party. Then they involved their employees in this program. And it became an employee-run initiative. And they were even able to save costs with this program because now the employees were volunteering. And not just that, it had a dual benefit because now employees also learned those leadership skills when they were supporting this program. So even the CSR, when we talk of it, that also benefits when we involve our employees in that program. So this is also a very large scale program. 45,000 plus children benefited from this, and even more than 5,000 employees were engaged in a year. So now that we have looked, so these are a few examples where we see that how corporate volunteering is being used to drive these business goals and even maximize the social outcomes impact, as we saw in the case of ICICI Lombard. Now, next, I would like everyone to experience this firsthand. So I'll invite Hrdik to let's do an activity where we can see this.
Thank you, Megha. So I think we had a lot of information, you have to catch up on. But in short, what we are trying to say is we are trying to get you to think about how you can use volunteering and leverage volunteering for business gains. So all the case studies that we have shown you, they are able to create a social impact, but at the same time, we are able to deliver some business goals. So in most of the case studies, you will be able to see both of them in parallel. So now what we'll do is, we have thought of an activity. I would like all of you, so most of you are in groups of 4 to 5. So we have some rules. Can we have the rules? Yeah. So what we'll do is, as you are all already sitting in groups, the next step will be, you can just select one business challenge out of the next slide. All of you will first analyze what it is that you want to solve. And how many corporates are here? NGOs? Okay, so we have a mix, so it will be a very interesting collaboration. You'll have both of them to think. And what we can do is, once you analyze and identify the business impact that you want to create, the next step will be you discuss and strategize the approach. So what we want you to do is think about this and see how you can implement this. After which, I would like all of you to, once you finish, I'll give you 15 minutes to do this. Once you finish, I would like to invite all of you, at least one person from each group, to talk about what is the strategy that we have achieved. And with this activity, our idea is that you understand how this whole business goals achieving is happening through leveraging volunteering. Okay? And yeah, the two things that you have to do in the impact is you have to develop a volunteering based solution, and the second thing is you have to highlight the business outcome. So these are the two key pointers that you have to keep in mind when you are going to present. Is that okay? Can we start? Sorry? Yeah. So on the next slide, we have the problem statement. You can discuss among your team which problem statement you want to pick up. We have 5 problem statements. We have named them company A, B, C, and XY. Any one problem you will pick up, and then you'll start analyzing on what are the problems that can be there in that specific area. Once you discuss that, you can plan the result. So it is basically problem solution, understanding the problem, and then trying to design a solution which will highlight two things. One is the business impact, and second is how will you integrate volunteering into it. Okay, so it's a collaborative effort. Any other questions before we start? Okay, next slide. Yeah. So we have already seen all of these case studies. So I think it should be helpful for you to understand what we are planning. So for senior leadership development, we have company A who wants to prepare high potential leaders into leadership roles. So how can you create a volunteering policy around it? And then how can you get business outcome from that? Is that possible? Can we all do it? So what we'll do is, it is 12:24. We'll take 15 minutes. We'll make it 12:40, round figure. So till 12:40, I want you to discuss with the people on your table how we can approach this. And once you are done, you can just raise your hands, let us know. If you have any doubts also, feel free to let us know. Okay? Yeah, we can start. I think if we go like this, we can sit for another 2 hours and brainstorm. That is what we are here for. But what we'll do is we'll just discuss some of the ideas. What I have in mind is we'll do a Shark Tank kind of a thing. We'll set 2 minutes so that we can get everyone to present their ideas. And once that is done, if anybody feels like there is something that can be added, so I want all of you to be keep your attention to the person who is speaking. Try to understand what they are thinking of, and if you feel you can make it better, we can always network and do that. Sounds good? So we have a first volunteer who raised their hand to go first. Yeah. What's your name? Okay. We have Rajit.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So the company which we picked was company B, and the idea was that the problem is that the employees are not as empathetic as they should be. So the problem statement which we picked up was that there is a customer-facing role in the company where the employees have to deal with the customers on a daily basis, and they are a call center where a lot of customers keep calling for updates, right? And the problem is that they are not able to get employees to actually be empathetic towards the cause. They are just technically trained that these are the steps, this is what we know. We don't know anything else apart from that, right? So we want to change that. The approach is we will have an NGO who deals with healthcare for geriatrics in terms of getting the data of the geriatric patients, assessments, health assessments, and making sure that their health is consistent and it's not dropping, right? These volunteers, these employees of the company will be given the job of calling the geriatric patients on a daily basis and then trying to just get the update of what is their health status today, whether they took the medicines, what is their vitals, all of those things. Now, in the process, what happens is, and we have a team member who has had some experience in this, that the geriatric patients, firstly, they are not in the same age group, in the same league. So the volunteers, the employees have to listen more carefully to their needs. Secondly, they are not very patient as in terms of giving their all information. Thirdly, what will happen is that sometimes they go over and above their geriatric, their health things and start talking to the employees and just tell them that, are you doing this for free? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? All these kind of an emotional bonding starts happening on the one call, right? Then what happens is that how does this actually benefit the corporate and how does this actually benefit the NGO? For the NGO, obviously, they get volunteers to do their job, which is something which is useful for them. But as a corporate, the employees understand what the customer would be going through when they are giving them just process-based information and not something which is a little more in terms of a helping nature and empathy to actually solve their problem, right? So in terms of business outcomes, it would come out as more customer retention, because the customers will now, when they call into the call center, they will obviously have a better person to talk to and they are more empathetic. They are listening to their problems and trying to solve it rather than just giving, the textbook advice. Secondly, what would also happen is that the customer base would increase because more customers would be recommending the services to other corporates as well, to other family members as well and friends as well. And thirdly, what would also happen is that the company can launch new products which are for other kind of markets, which are not just the original market which they were going to. For example, if they were only treating, they were only going to families, for example, they can now start into other markets. Why? Because their employees have been able to develop the understanding of listening to the needs and then responding. And I think these are a few things which we had planned for, I think. Yeah.
Wonderful. Please put up a huge round of applause for them. It's a very well thought idea.
Hi, my name is Shaini Das. I manage volunteering for Delta Technology Hub. The problem statement we chose is also B. Company intends to make employees more empathetic, and our assumed company is customer facing. The primary group that we are talking about here is the team that deals with customer complaints, either face-to-face or on call. And the group that we have identified for volunteering is the team or the group of people who have been rated towards the lower end in customer ratings, which means their customer calls are shorter and resolution has not been high enough. So this group, we are working with an NGO. We've modeled our NGO after our colors from Bela, who is seated at our table here, who works with persons with disability and trains them in skill development and things like that. So what we are looking at doing, the model that we are proposing, is that this group of performers goes to the NGO and works closely with the teachers or the trainers of the persons with disability. So as a trainer, on a day-to-day basis, they have to show a very high level of empathy, patience, good listening skills to work with a child or a young adult to teach them skills that would finally make them maybe sustainable or give them some kind of economic independence. So the game or the first icebreaker activity that we have thought about is that the volunteers go learn how to make, pottery is a part of the curriculum that they teach at the NGO, so learn how to make small diyas, okay? But the catch here is that the volunteer would be blindfolded and the other volunteer, with the help of the trainer who trains persons with disability, would teach them how to make the diya. And so 2-3 things would happen here. Of course, the one volunteer instructing gets to understand how important it is to communicate effectively. At the same time, be aware that the person is following instructions blindfolded, so not give too much information, not give too little information, but just the right amount to get the task done, and also address any kind of frustrations that the person is facing while trying to follow the instructions. The person who is blindfolded actually gets to experience what a customer who's not able to resolve the problem on their own would be feeling, right? And then we could maybe get this group to come back to office and demonstrate this activity or make this an activity as an icebreaker or a team building activity with a larger group, and then monitor what are the customer rating scores would be. So that is the idea that we came up with.
Very well put, yeah. So skills are identified very nicely, and the way they have approached it is it will develop the employee skills also. So it's a very nice way. Who's next?
I'm Praveen. I'm from Bosch India Foundation from Bangalore itself. So the topic we have chose is first one. Actually, we did worked on topic B, the company B, but I think we already got the two very wonderful solutions. So we changed to topic A. So when any company wanted to develop their leadership, and why I'm choosing this topic, because I think we are already implementing it in our organization in Bosch. So we have this future leadership program where different levels have this certain time period of time. They need to go for this rigorous training for the promotion and for the next level of the role, right? So in that role, there are lots of corporate things and the business expertise that they need to cover. But one module that we had add up in those training period, we add up that their social engagement is necessary. So for that, what we have done, we have assigned all the leaders a specific either NGO or organization, or sometimes it's a group of people who are struggling with certain kind of problem, whether it's related with the animal, society, or old age, whatever the topic is. We match make those things with the interest area or the expertise of that particular leader or person, because they have already have enough of exposure in terms of the business domain. They know how to solve the problem. They know how to make the PPT or website or any technical detail. But for them, what is normal, it may be a huge or humongous task for the small NGO. They cannot even present their work in a beautiful manner. So we assign these leaders to those NGO and with a certain problem statement like here, and they worked on that and they solved those problems. Minimum time period is 30 to 60 hours for each one of them, and they can extend, depends on their interest area, if they wanted to take up a new problem statement or they have built up a relationship with the NGO. So in that way, they are volunteering for the NGO and for the cause, societal benefit, and it will also give them an opportunity to lead the different kind of audience. So new way of treating or interacting with the crowd. Sometimes they have to go to the field to understand where the NGO is working, how NGO is dealing with them, because they already have experience how to deal with the corporate employees in the team. They know how to instruct them, how to order them, and what output they can expect. But they cannot predict the how to request people who is on the ground in the community, and also how to force them to do this work, so it will ultimately benefit you only. So that's how we created this program. I think this is the way. Okay,
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's actually a very helpful one. Thank you for choosing the difficult topic also. Uh, Very well put. Yeah.
Hello everyone, myself Rupsha from Sense India, and we have a team of Nityanand from eVidyaloka, Nakul from Renova, and Jivita from Atma Foundation. So we are a full NGO team here. We have chosen the topic Area C, talent retention. Companies looking to create greater sense of purpose. Now, in order to develop the problem statement, what we have seen is like 85% of corporate employees are stressed. Okay, if we look a little more into the detailed data, so 8% is the per month attrition rate at any IT company. So of course, then there are also other employees who don't want to, resign now, but also not happy with their job. So in order to have a good talent retention policy, how effectively volunteering can help. Okay, So in that way, like as all of us are from the NGOs, side, and we regularly engage in employee engagement activities. So like our team is involved in making, teaching learning materials, or Jivita's team is closely associated with mentoring. So whenever we do volunteering with corporate employees, I think the first and foremost thing that we have seen is how, easily they transform themselves into a different shoes. Like we are making teaching learning materials, there is art and craft involved. These volunteers after the orientation might take like, 5 to 7 minutes and they will start drawing. It's not like everyone is drawing at its best, or it's not like in 1 to 2 hour everyone is mentoring in their best capability. But they have always said that, we were not aware with our regular job that we also have this kind of side present in us, where we can be, a good artistic person, or we can support a child like that. And most importantly, under our feedback sessions also, what they request is, they request their companies to do more initiatives like that. So from there comes the important perspective of volunteering engagement in corporates, because one thing that we understand very clearly is that at the end of the day, your job is going to be difficult. If you are stressed about your job and all, you can't complain much about the job. You can resign today here, you can go to some other place, but it will remain stress. So what's important is to look at other areas of relaxation. You look at hobbies, right? Then at the similar way, why not look at volunteering to, bring the solution? So yeah, in that way, volunteering is obviously important, because what it is bringing to the corporate employees is something other than money as well, right? Most of the time they have said like, we were not we are able to contribute in this kind of way, in a different way also in our job. So yeah, a greater sense of purpose like that, and also the greater fulfillment by supporting someone. From the business outcome perspective, what we find that what's important is, at times, there are a lot of training sessions involved in corporate. We think in a way that, if you have to increase the productivity, it's better to do a training session, so a long 2-3 days training session. But at the same time, volunteering can provide a skill building from diverse community exposure. So that has a business goal associated with it. Also, we understand the CSR wing will also receive greater support, because in most of the corporates, the CSR thing is happening, but many of the people are not aware. So when volunteering is happening, so in many of the cases, employees also take interest, in the CSR activities. What is it happening? Can we do it? Can we also provide support there? And most importantly, for the business perspective, it provides a great, opportunity to do philanthropic branding. The way, volunteering posts are going in LinkedIn, from the corporate side it's posting, or, if the NGO is posting, people take a lot of interest in that. And I think that is the reason why 2026 is going to be the year of volunteering. So in short, it is not only going to retain your talent in a very realistic manner, but also will help you to draw new talent also in a better manner. So in conclusion, I would just like to end that we have given very limited examples for the time constraint, but it is like now we can understand, right? Every corporate needs a volunteering policy in place. So when you are putting that volunteering policy together, don't just stick into this tree plantation or mentoring, because a lot of people are doing that. Talk to your team, talk to your employees, the particular group you want to impact, and understand their preference as well, and have diverse kind of activities in your, volunteering activities as well. And for that, we have different kind of NGOs today here. So please connect with us, and we will be happy to help you. So yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
all.
Yeah. So we'll have one last group, but for this, I would like to ask: is there anybody who has done X or Y?
My name is Oswin D'Souza. I'm from IndusInd Bank. In our team, we have Debrati from Wipro Foundation. We have Suresh from Akand Eye Hospital, and Harish from Tata Communications. And we have chosen the third topic of talent retention. An organization like mine comes from an industry where almost 50% is the attrition rate, okay, at an industry level. My organization is about 55%. So, but what we all agreed to is that, we cannot organize a program for talent retention. We can organize, a particular event or activity for talent retention. it's a sum of many things. So we can look at it from a program perspective. Second is that for talent retention has many moving parts to it. Okay, but what's important is that one of the key pegs and functions around that is, how you feel, how you instill a sense of pride in employees about working for your organization, right? To build that emotional connect with your brand. So that's one thing that we can take care of. What we discuss is that, just like you do in so supposing a business unit is having a very high attrition issue. So, you can start off with, as you do it in a marketing survey, try to find out with what is it that employees, want to do in terms of volunteering. What are the areas they'd like to support? How would they like to support it? And so on. Okay, so that gives you a starting point to say, okay, this is the kind of thing your employees are most interested in doing. All right, we did something similar at IndusInd Bank where we had mapped out top 5 responses or top 5 areas that people want to volunteer their time with. Second is that, you need to focus in terms of, we feel that when people allow their family members to be a part of it, okay, it creates a higher emotional engagement. And people feel greater, especially if those who organize family days and all in your organization would understand that when the reason for doing that is, when families see your organization culture, there's always a pressure in Indian setups where, family plays a role in creating, about your decisions about your company or leaving your company, or it's a good company, why you're leaving, and so on. So involving family members and making them feel good about your organization organizing such things, is another important peg. We also discussed that, it's important to then, based on the surveys, figure out programs that work, the dates, the times that work for people. And then it's important to focus on the volunteering experience, because a lot of employees in a place where there's high attrition would be first-time volunteers or first time that they're volunteering with your organization or through your organization. So that volunteering experience is very important at that stage. And then how do we capture feedback, is important. And then we also talk about that feedback. So we can, in volunteering, does give an opportunity to do things like, give people recognition. It can be as simple as sending out a post-event mailer saying that this particular team did this, or, talk about or propagate people's feedback who had a great experience, stories. People are regularly volunteering. And so now all of these in a way culminate towards, working towards talent retention, where people by and large feel that our organization is doing a lot more. Even if you're passive as a volunteer, but you're seeing regular communication coming through, it's back of your mind playing that, my organization is doing so many things. So that is always there, and a lot of these things culminate towards talent retention. You want to add something?
One point that we also wanted to add was to see what we created is to also ensure that we have a structured recognition program for employees that basically adds a lot of value. What we do internally is that we have a program called 1 in a Million, which is maybe a top, one of the highest award within the organization, which is been given by the CEO of the company. So, and it's given once in 2 years, and it's a one-time award. So if they are in the organization, they get it only once. And this is a kind of maybe an ambition for employees who are there and they want to basically get to that award. And what they do is they be part of volunteering and they continue it. So that builds the culture, and the retention, of course, increases because once it goes to their culture, once it adds to their regular work that they do, so then we have seen that the retention have been increased, and we have got a good numbers there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much. Now what I would like to do is I want all of you to feel proud of yourselves that you all have discussed. And what I am hoping is that all of you got a set of new insights. So how to link business and volunteering together. And out of all the ideas that we have discussed, what I noticed is common is while doing volunteering, we are definitely able to drive the business, which will grow the ecosystem in a manner that we want. So I hope that concludes our session. We have some question answers that we would like you to do. Ready? Okay. Can we press enter? Answer fast to get more points. According to research, how does corporate volunteering impact employee satisfaction? So all the answers will be visible on your phone. Okay. Next question. What is a key reason why companies struggle to scale their corporate volunteering programs? Next question. Which corporate volunteering approach creates the most business value and social impact? Very nice. Yeah. So this was a small learning activity for all of you. I hope this session has been fruitful and knowledgeable for you. In the meanwhile, if any of you have questions, I am there, Megha is there. You can feel free to reach out to us regarding any of the questions that you have, and we are more than happy to respond.